Always doing that. Live from the gorgeous Prince George's. This is the one and only, the illustrious, soon-to-be world famous Shattered Illusionz Podcast.
Will I take him to the drinking?
Guys, I'm excited tonight. We have a hell of a guest in the building, but before we get started with that, a couple of announcements. Guys, we have fire interviews coming up for you, including the one tonight. Ladies, if you want to come down on the show, DM us on TikTok or IG at Shattered Illusionz. Come on down here, get someone to smoke. I know how y'all do, man. So without further ado, I don't want to hold the interview up too long. Gotta check in on someone special. Alex, how you feeling?
I'm good. How you doing? Oh,
just annoyed by you. Nothing new.
Don't lie.
But I'm appreciative of you being down here. Thank you so much for your support and everything you've been doing for us for the show.
Of course.
All right, so guys, I got to introduce a very special guest tonight. A dude that I really connected with. I don't connect with too many dudes these days, man. I feel a lot of dudes are weird and have awkward energy. But from the very first time I met this dude, it was nothing but positive energy, good vibes, and we agree on a lot of things. We don't agree on some things, and I think that you'll kind of see a little bit of that evolution on the show tonight. So without further ado, let me introduce my man, Clr Conscience. But for the show, we're gonna call him Clr. Clr.
What up, TK? How you feeling?
I'm living in your world, bro, man. What's going on with you?
I'm feeling great, man. It's a great day. You know what I'm saying? It's been a productive weekend. The Ravens got a W. You feel me? So that's cool.
Oh, you a Ravens fan, man?
Oh man, what you not?
Come on, man.
That's right. That's right.
Philly.
I did look at that. But hey, you know what? If I had to pick an NFC team, it would be Philly.
Hey, you know they actually predicting us to go to Super Bowl together. Like
they are.
Ravens and
they
Eagles.
are. And to be honest with you, I like it no other way. Of course, we will come out on top, but I like it no other way.
All right, here you go. First one of the night.
Stop the cap.
Come on, man. That ain't gonna happen. But didn't y'all just lose Mark Andrews too?
We did lose Mark Andrews, and that's a big blow. That's a big
huge
blow. But this is an opportunity for Lamar to show that he can really spread the ball around, and I got faith in him. I think he's like top 5 QBs in the league, in my opinion.
Oh,
that's my opinion. You feel me? I mean, Jalen Hurts is up there too, but I'm just saying, man.
So who's better, Hurts or Lamar?
I gotta go with the guy that won an MVP, man. You feel me? So I gotta go with the guy that won an MVP, and that is a dual threat.
Go ahead.
Okay, Jalen is a dual threat, but I would say that Lamar is a little bit more of a dual threat.
You know what? I'm a Lamar fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm hating a little bit right now, but I like him. He a good dude, man. I think he definitely has outlasted that kind of narrative that quarterbacks are going to get hurt running the ball too much. He's been doing his thing, and like you said, spreading the ball around. Odell starting to look like Odell again.
For sure.
Y'all had a real good game against the Bengals, who I thought honestly was going to beat y'all because, I mean, Joe Burrow's a dog, and he's probably up there in top 5 QBs too.
No, he's definitely up there. Joe Burrow a dog, for
and then
sure.
What about your man, the running back that always get hurt? What's his name?
The guy that got hurt in the first game,
Yeah.
very first game. I forget. I actually forget.
I actually know his name.
The running back that hurt first game. He was going crazy too before he got hurt too.
He always go crazy, but he always get hurt though.
But check it out. See, we have not lost a step since, because that's the thing about the Ravens though, is that it's always next man up, but it's like for real next man up. Some people be saying that, but it'd be phony. It's for real next man up with the Ravens.
Facts.
So I mean, but like I said, I would want it no other way, because if it wasn't the Ravens winning, I wouldn't mind the Eagles winning. But of course, being from Baltimore.
Oh wait, y'all talking about Dobbins?
Yeah,
Dobbins.
Is it J.K. Dobbins?
Yes. Yep, that's him.
Yeah, man, that dude is talented, bro.
He's
but
nice, man.
It's just like every time he gets on the field, he gets hurt. It's crazy.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to say he's done. I don't know, because I don't want to say that. I don't want to put that on nobody. But he gets hurt a lot, man. And running backs are down bad right now.
Yeah, I mean, bro, running back is already a shelf life kind of thing.
For sure, like 5 years tops.
And he's like, I think 29. He might even be 30. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's unfortunate, but definitely y'all looking good. And I would probably pick. I hate to say this, but between y'all and the Chiefs, probably gonna be in the AFC, and it's gonna be a good game either way. I think the Bills is doing pretty good too, but the Bills been kind of looking funny.
The Bills is 5-5 right now,
bro, and I'm shocked.
So,
but I told Alex, I was like, once they play us, they gonna turn back into a 2021 Bills. Josh Allen gonna throw like 4 TDs. Stephon Diggs gonna go off. I already know how it goes against the Eagles, man. But yeah, man. But I want to give a little back story on how you and I met.
For sure.
So, shout out to my cousin Naj. They're supposed to be here tonight. She's not
homie.
feeling good, so hope you feel better and everything, cuz. But she had like this annual Halloween party every single year.
Sure.
Always a lot of good women there, good vibes, good energy. And my whole vibe when I come into a party, I'm a very observant person. I kind of watch the room, see what's going on. But then once I get comfortable, I'm like, you know what? All right, let me go ahead and start some shit real quick. So every time I go into her parties, it's like, okay, which girl can I piss off first? Because I always say that women's hate and love is the same exact thing.
Right.
You really get messed up when a girl feels indifferent about you. You want her to either hate you or love you. And my whole thing is the Patrice O'Neal style. I want to make you hate me, then I'll make you love me.
Word.
So I go and I say, hey, you know what? Bitches ain't shit. That's just the first thing out of my mouth.
Just walk in.
And I always say, you know what? I have multiple women that I deal with. I have multiple women that I deal with. I'm fucking multiple women. And it's always the girls like, oh my God, how could you say that? You're a misogynist. Who hurt you? The typical stuff that you always get, right? But and most of the time, the guys will look at me just like that, just saying like, who is this nigga? This nigga weird, bruh. But with you, Clr, you kind of was like, you know what? He got a point. And you said it. The thing about you, Clr, you're an asshole, but you're a smooth asshole. You say things a lot more palatable than I'm able to say them.
I guess you could say that. I mean, you call me the smooth asshole. I just operate in what makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just operate in what makes sense and what I've learned. Because to be honest with you, I wasn't always the man that I am. I feel like that's with all of us. You feel me? That's
who is, yeah.
So like it's just seeing the logic in some of the different topics we ended up talking about, even from the first time we had linked. I believe it was last year at her I think it was Halloween
too. Yep.
Yeah. So and yeah, it's just as far as the logic of it, which certain things you can't deny. There's just like certain things that obviously are biologically different about men and women.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? And so in a nature aspect, we're different. And then I really feel like society is influenced by our nature.
Sure.
It's built on our nature. So
and we're going to get more into that, man. But the one thing that I admired about you is that you're able to convey the information in a way that's more like digestible to them.
Right.
Because it's not like just so much emotion. When I say they like nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? But when you say they're like, oh, okay, that makes some sense.
Right.
So I'm gonna take a page out of your book one day. But I just love triggering women, especially because that hate and love is the same thing, man. But definitely always got good vibes. We've been talking about doing this for a very long time, so it's actually good that we actually are able to kind of sit down and do this, because we talked about doing it actually last year, but then work got into the way and all that other. See, now how we do, bro. But let's go ahead and start with actually your music and everything, man. So I want to start with like the genesis. Like, who is Clr Conscience, man?
Clr Conscience, man. It's been a long time coming. To be honest with you, I would say that I first got into music, I would probably say like 2013, 14. But seriously, as far as seriously and seeing my actual potential in it, it was probably like 2016 is when I started taking it seriously.
Okay. And for the audience, you are how old?
30. Just turned 30 this year.
And in 2016, you were
2016. Oh, let's do the math.
About 23, maybe.
20, 24.
24.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah. So that was the genesis. That's where it kind of came to be. And to be honest with you, it took a while because it was something that I always enjoyed. Like, I was a huge fan of like rap and poetry. I would say the biggest inspirations that got me into making music was J. Cole and Wale. They were like my two, especially at that time.
Yeah.
Like, but still, but especially at that time, they were like the ones that mainly got me into it. J. Cole with the introspectiveness, and Wale with that also adding the poetry. And so yeah, and at first, to be honest, if you would have heard my earlier stuff, I'm sure every artist been there, like straight trash, dumpster juice, awful. Like, no, you would have thought no talent at all.
Right.
But I kind of just stuck with it. I had some homies that I had a homie of mine, shout out to my guy Jordan. He always wanted to freestyle. We went to a community college in Baltimore at the time, and he always wanted to, during our breaks, come into a room called the Den,
Okay.
And he always wanted to put on beats and freestyle. I'd be like, yo, I ain't with this, bro. Come on, bro. But eventually I got somewhat decent at it, at least at that time. And then we just started making music. And like I said, it was trash at first. He kind of fell off of it and started doing other things. I stuck with it. And then eventually, like, I saw that I would really had some talent in it. So, yeah.
Bro, I kind of want to touch on something that you just said very profound that I'm not even sure you're aware of, man. But it's the ability to suck at something. People are so afraid to, like, be bad at something,
Right.
you know, for a little while till you actually can get good at it.
For sure.
And, like, bro, like, you very rarely want to pick up a skill, I don't care what it is, and just be amazing at it. There are some people that can do that.
Right.
But, man, going through that, like, you know what? Damn, I suck at this shit. You know what? Because, like, I remember me, and I'm still trying to get better at this, but even just, like, speaking,
right.
You know, like, back in the day, like, I consider myself pretty articulate.
Right.
And I'm trying to get better at it every single day. But I remember one job at the time in particular. I'm sitting at my job, and it's probably, like, around the same time, 2015, 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my whole thing is, like, there's a crowd of people I had to present in front of.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, one of them things, like, you start thinking, like, a negative feedback loop, you know, like, you know what, don't stammer, don't stutter, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, I prepared the whole day to make sure that, you know, I'm not going to stammer, I'm not going to stutter. But then I get up there, and I see people just staring at me.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how hard public speaking actually is. That shit's like fucking nerve-wracking.
For sure.
People are like, you know what? Perform.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Bruh.
And I'm standing there, I'm like, fuck. And of course, my words wouldn't come out. Almost had a damn anxiety attack. And, you know, people wouldn't see that from the outside looking in, but I'm just like, I'm a wreck.
For sure.
And then I went home and, like, I bombed, of course. It was fucking terrible.
Right.
I was stuttering the whole time. I couldn't convey any of my thoughts. And I went home the whole night thinking about that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, probably for the whole week, honestly. But then I just got this realization, man. It's just like, failure is part of the process. And if you want to continue to be good at something, you have to be willing to look like a fool.
That's facts, man.
Like, look like you don't know what you're doing. Even it kind of translates to women too, because women, you're talking to a girl, you're not going to walk up to a girl. She's going to be like, yeah, hey, yeah, you're like, I'm going to fuck you. It's going to be a lot of no's, a lot of I'm not interested,
sure.
a lot of I got a boyfriend. But people stop at that point. They're like, man, it's uncomfortable because it is. Yeah. But if you just kind of keep going, you keep putting those reps in, eventually you don't get good at this shit.
Bro, them joints is the training grounds, bro.
Facts.
Them joints is whether you're talking about, like, because I could tap into the public speaking through performance, but then also, like, we know, like, coming up, like, when it came to the ladies, like, that was the thing, like, going to the mall, like, shooting your shot at girls. Yeah. You would miss most of the shots. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so it's just like building up that nerve. You know what I'm saying? That was literally the training ground. You feel me? So, like, and that's a funny thing, because I don't even think girls understand. No, but not even think that they just straight don't understand what it takes for a guy to kind of build up that nerve.
Hold on, bro. You're speaking facts, bro, because, like, I say to women all the time, we have girls down here, they assume that every dude just has 40 girls in their DM. They could cheat anytime they want. Like, they don't understand how hard it is to actually get a woman, bro.
For sure.
Like, because it's like the whole stand-up comedy or even performing in front of somebody. You're going into somebody's space and they're like, man, what the fuck do you want?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you better be entertaining. And they don't understand how hard that shit is, bro. It really is nerve-wracking.
It is.
So, like, going back to you, man. So, you sucked for a little while.
Yeah.
When was that point you realized, you know what? I might have something here.
So, man, okay. So, I would say it was 2014 when I realized I had some talent in it. Mm-hmm. I was going to Towson University at the time, and I was in this performing arts group, really more so spoken word group called Voices. I don't know if they're still doing it up there, but I was in that, and we would have these performances that would be put together at Towson, and we called it Ebony Lounge. So it was one night, like, and I had some raps, I had some things that I was working on, and you know, we had performances together, but with the group, but I had not done anything myself. And there was one time they had people coming up to freestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Coming up to freestyle. I had some Grey Goose in the system.
Oh shit.
It was lit.
He's on that liquid courage.
It was lit.
Okay.
You know, but even in that, like, I had never gone up and like rocked the stage by myself. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
But
sure.
something in me just made me go up there, and I killed that shit. I don't even know like what came over me. Maybe it was a combination of the liquid courage and just like what I had actually worked on. You feel me? But I went crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it was off of a written. You know what I'm saying? But they ain't know that. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to flow a little bit off of that written too. That's what when most rappers are free, not all of them, but when a lot of rappers are freestyling, be writtens and then they just flow a little bit off of those writtens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so yeah, and that was the moment for me. I was like, and I really rocked that shit. Everybody was going crazy, and that was like in front of, I think it might have been like 100 to 200 people. You know what I'm saying? Something slight, and yeah, man, like that was that moment when I was like, oh shit, I might have something. So yeah.
What was that rush like? You know, just like being in front of people and like just having everybody just like fucking with you, because bro, that's like on the opposite side of going up there, humiliating yourself and feeling like shit. The other side of that is just like, damn, like, you know, I'm that nigga. And like,
and that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like. It felt like I was that nigga, like almost, I don't want to, almost for the first time in my life. You know what I'm saying? To keep it a stat.
Yeah.
So like, and I kept at it after that point. And to be honest, there was still valleys even after that. You know what I'm saying? Sure. So it's just, when it comes to public speaking and performance, like it's a thing that you got to work at. You know what I'm saying? So it was that. And there were times even after that where I would hit open mics or go to different shows and do things like from Baltimore to DC to New York or whatever, and do performances. And either sometimes every once in a while there'd be one that didn't hit as much. And you know when it's not, you know what I'm saying? There was like a one time or two when I went up there and still straight froze and had to get off the stage because I forgot my lines. You know what I'm saying? So, and you just kind of keep at it. But, you know, yeah, I would say that is the origin. And then from there, just consistently hitting the scene, mostly in Baltimore, but in the DC surrounding area too. And, you know, my sister, who's also an artist, we kind of came onto the Baltimore. I brought her onto the scene. We rocked out crazy, had a crazy like single that we put together on the Baltimore scene at the time that was going wild. And from there, it was just like everything was just way up, you know. So yeah.
So what do you think, how would you describe your rapping style? Like you mentioned kind of spoken word, kind of like Wale is. Just like, how would you describe it?
I don't like to put myself in a box.
Okay.
But I would definitely say that my biggest inspirations are like the Coles, you know, the Wale with the poetry aspect of it. You know, you could probably say the Kendrick with the way that I layer things, like, you know, particularly like even when you look at the project that I put together in 2018, I kind of hate it now. Sometimes I feel like that's how artists feel, just like, I can do so much better. And even with the project that I have now, it is so much better.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying, that I'm working on is coming soon. So, you know, yeah, and just like the way that I still layered that and the way that I'm layering this, it's cut from that cloth.
But you know, it's just evolution of you as an artist and as a person in general. Because I mean, I always say if you can't look back 3 or 4 years ago and cringe at the person that you were, you're not evolving.
Facts.
You know,
if you got the same beliefs for that whole stretch of time, I mean, you evolve in the way that you think. Like the subject matter, there's things when I listen to that first project or compare myself to that person back in 2018 or even just maybe 2019, 2020. There's things that I said on that project or I believed in those times that I don't necessarily fully align with now. There's some parts of it that I still do, you know what I'm saying? But there's some parts that I definitely don't align with so much anymore.
Yeah.
And I've been on hiatus for about like a year and a half, transitioning through some life changes and then also working on this project that I'm gonna be popping out for once it's finished. And some people probably are not gonna like the evolved version of me, but that's something that I had to grow and just learn to accept over this time, that it's not going to be the same Clr, and some people are not going to fuck with it, and that's cool, you know.
But you know what, if you try to be liked by everybody, you'll be liked by no one,
for sure.
And I think that nobody's universally hated or universally loved, you know. And I don't think it's about trying to find everybody to fuck with you, but to find that small amount of people that actually will,
for
and
sure.
you know, bring as much value to those people as you can.
Yeah.
But back to the whole like evolution as an artist kind of thing. I'm a huge J. Cole fan.
For sure.
Like I was in Cole's shows when it was like $50 for like, you could go back and meet him, front row tickets, the whole nine. And his very first one that I heard from him was called The Come Up. You know about that mixtape?
For sure. For sure. Oh, you were even more of a day one fan. Because when I got 2010 was when I became a J. Cole fan. When I heard Friday Night Lights,
nigga.
When I heard Friday Night Lights, bro, when I heard Too Deep for the intro, I was sold. Before I even finished the rest of the mixtape.
Friday Night Lights is probably one of the best albums. Like it's a mixtape technically, but just one of the best pieces of hip hop ever recorded, in my opinion.
Bro, partially functional. Half of me is comfortable. The other half is close to the cliff, like Mrs. Huxtable.
Hey, that nigga was spitting, bro. And then just like so back to The Come Up real quick, bro. So when Cole was rapping back then, he had a certain it was like a certain hunger. He was talking about stuff that most people wasn't talking about. He had a joint on there called College Boy. He's talking about, just being a day in the life college student.
Right.
Nobody was talking about that at that point.
Right.
And people back then, they was on either I fuck with J. Cole or fuck Cole.
Right.
That's how he even said that in the interview he had with Lil Yachty.
For sure.
And he's talking about evolution as far as him being a person and an artist as well. And you heard about the story of him being out, waiting for Jay-Z in the rain for 2 hours, right? So he was saying that when he was out there, he waited for those 2 hours. And then he finally had the one-on-one with Jay-Z. And Jay-Z kind of walked in and was like, he handed him the mixtape. And Jay-Z looked at him, he was like, I don't want that shit.
Yeah, it's funny. I was just looking at that short today of that.
Yeah. So, and then he said for the next hour, him and his boys went around the corner, was like, man, fuck Jay-Z.
Yeah.
And it's just so funny, bro, because our ego wants to be offended. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
And don't get me wrong, I think Jay-Z could have went about that a little bit better, you know, but
think about how many people we probably have come
facts,
up to
bro.
Day, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And Cole was thinking about that. He was like, man, I had to really kind of sit with myself and you know what, like you said, here's this dude, he's busy.
Right.
I'm bothering him. I'm intruding his space. And I gotta show that man more grace than I have in the past. So it's just evolving as a person is very important, bro.
It is. And just like I said, I had to come to grips that the views that I have now versus before the hiatus and all those years before and now, and just the subject matter that I'm talking about on this project versus then. Like I said, there's a lot of people that my supporters I had that's not going to be fucking with it. There's going to be some that still do and fuck with the fact that it's real. Because that's what whatever I believed or felt at the time, I was real about it. And so they'll still feel that realness and that rawness because that's still there. But some people going to fuck with what I'm on now, some people not. And then there's going to be people that gravitate to what I'm on now. So new people come along. And that's something I had to take on.
Fuck it, we already here, bro. Sure. Why the hiatus happen?
The hiatus, man. Just long story short, I was thinking of moving. I had some other things going on too, but one of the things was I was thinking of moving and just some life changes that honestly I'm gonna get to on the project, and I don't even want to spoil it. But it's a lot of life changes, or thought to be life changes, I'll say, that were occurring. And I was already gonna take a hiatus with the fact that I was planning to move. But then when those things were coming up, I was like, oh shit, I really do need to. Now I definitely need to take a pause. So essentially it was that. And then it was just a lot of life reevaluating and rediscovering who I was. I feel like I literally died and created a new version of myself.
Bro.
People talk about ego deaths. I had a real ego death, and the former person that I was literally died, and I had to create a new version of myself. I actually have a line about that in the intro of the project. I lost myself and created another me. I know some will not be fans of that, but you gotta keep that shit like Steven Jackson, regardless, and always remain a stat. That's one of the lines in the intro of my project. So yeah, man.
Damn, bro. I mean, and that's so real, but how do you kind of balance the idea between taking a hiatus and then stopping your forward momentum? Because the one thing that I'm learning, bro, right now is so important in life is that the importance of having momentum and doing some things. Because I had to take a little stop from doing this podcast for a little bit for some personal reasons and stuff like that as well. And like, you know what? I was thinking to myself, I was like, TK, is this really like a hiatus because you really have stuff to do? Or is it because you're kind of afraid of success? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that with you.
Right.
Like, kind of, how do you balance those two things?
Well, for me, it was more so just, like I said, the circumstances, but then also just like that transition of realizing that I was becoming a new person, which would also make me a new artist, and like really rediscovering that. Like I said, I literally lost myself for that period of time. Like my whole self was broken down and I had to build it back up. So like I had to take that time where I had to get away from social media, because while I was going through those things, if I would have been on social media, I was already like in a kind of dark place. Social, and we talked a little bit before.
Yeah, we don't go into that.
You know what I'm saying? So that would have just made it 10 times worse. So I had to step away. And as far as the momentum thing that you mentioned, I feel it. But as long as you're not just taking breaks all the time, to be honest with you, bro, from that time I was on and off from 2014, 15, 13, 14, 15. I wouldn't even say on and off, but I wasn't as serious. 2016 is when I got super serious. And from 2016 to about 2021, bro, I was on the scene like going crazy like a dog, like running events, you know what I'm saying? Hosting events, getting booked for events, you know what I'm saying? So all those kind of things. So, and like I said, I had to take that time for myself to create the new person that I was becoming and really settle into that.
Yeah.
You know, if that answers the question.
It definitely does. So what were you like when you were going through this dark time?
Right.
Do you want to like share what it is you were going through, like a little bit of that, or like what was it? Like,
I don't want to share exactly what I was going through just yet or here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I also mentioned that it is talked about on the project, but I don't want to share exactly what I was going through right at this time. But I will say, yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. Your question was what I was going through, and something that you said was something else you said too.
Do you want to like share what it was? Because I'm just saying, like, I'll kind of like even kind of piggyback off that a little bit, because like just dark times, bro. It was just like when you in the middle of that shit, you be like, dog, like what the fuck? Because it's like I live over here by myself, bro.
Right.
And like, you know, you kind of in this house and you still like kind of sitting there with the silence. The reason that most people can't sit with their thoughts is because they're afraid what their mind's going to say, what their mind's saying to them. You think about when most people are sitting by themselves, what are they doing? Scrolling their phone on TikTok, on Instagram, because that's a distraction from your mind.
Yeah.
And people are afraid to kind of go to that place. If I stop and I have to sit here and listen to my thoughts, I have to face myself. And, you know, especially there's a reason that people's bad habits come out even more at night is because the nighttime, you can't really run from yourself. Always say, I have a saying, and a shout out to Dante New York for this, but he said, basically, when you're sitting alone in your room, 2 a.m. in the morning, and the shadow from the ceiling fan is hitting your face, you can't run and you can't escape yourself.
Right.
So as people at night, they start, you know, doing drugs hard, drinking hard. All that stuff happens at night because they're afraid to face themselves. So I say all that to say is like, were you having an ego death and you were like trying to like escape some demons? You don't have to really go like too deep into it, but just like, was it like somebody passed away? Was you like going through like a breakup? Like
not necessarily that. Like I said, I don't want to get into the details of it per se, exact details, but it was just definitely something that like I had this let's just say I had this belief and vision of myself of who I was, and that vision of myself was shattered. Like I literally had an identity crisis.
I like that, bro.
I had an identity crisis. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like essentially that's what it was. I had an identity crisis. That's why I say I lost myself and I had to rebuild myself. You know, and so that was what I was dealing with, like having this vision of who I was and who people also believed me to be. I think that was the even more powerful thing, because if it was just me, it probably wouldn't have been as big of a deal.
Sure.
But everybody the supporters and everybody that has seen me up to that point had believed me to be this certain person. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't feeling like that anymore. And the things I was going through wasn't that, you know? So it was just like trying to transition out of that and create this new person, this new version of myself. And just understanding that, you know, just like we were talking about earlier, people grow, people evolve, and people change, and that's okay. You feel me? So
yeah, bro. And the thing I really wanted to ask you too, especially like kind of going and trying to be like become an artist these days, how do you kind of like balance that thing between like artistic expression and then commercial success?
I think it's just a matter of how you go about it. Like, one thing that I've learned over the years through trial and error is the importance of making other people pay for your shit.
Hold on, I gotta give you a ding on that one, bro. That's fast. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? Through like grants and stuff like that, through grants and, you know, just having a business plan well put together. So like just from trial and error of events that I've had, you know what I'm saying? Paying for them out of pocket at one point and then realizing, bro, I'm doing this shit that's literally helping people, you know what I'm saying, get through. Like, you know, with these open mics, with these showcases, you know, mixed with healing sessions, mixed with just everything that I was doing. And I'm just like, people really feel healing from this. The event was literally called The Cleansing, the one event that I had. I was the host and curator of it, but then also, you know, people would book me for other events, whether to perform or host. And so it's just like, bro, I'm just like, I'm doing this and this is helping people and people are coming and consistently coming. People should be paying me to put these on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's a matter of making everything, kind of realizing what's at your disposal and then making it work for you. You know what I'm saying? But then also some agree, some people disagree. You know, I also have different things that I want to do outside of music as well. You know what I'm saying? So some people be like, you don't want to, you know, put your eggs in one basket or don't, you know, people on different sides of it. But I just happen to have things that I'm interested in outside of music as well. So I pursue both of those directions.
Well, what the jokers say, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
Yeah, facts.
And not only that, people, the thing I'm learning, bro, people value what they have to pay for.
Right.
When they give it, you give it to them for free, they're like, okay, yeah, that was cool, whatever, that's cool. But like, when you have to invest your time, money, or energy in something, they're like, damn, I'm gonna get a return on this investment.
Right.
It might take them from like, oh yeah, it was cool, it was straight when they paid when it was free. When they paid for, like, damn, that was awesome. I needed that shit. Like you said, it's just like good to be around people like that.
Right.
So like, what do you think as far as rapping? Who are some of like your dream collaborations, you think?
Let me see. I would say my dream, obviously getting a Cole collab would be crazy.
Awesome.
You know what I'm saying? So some of these, I want to get the obvious commercial ones out the way, but you know, Cole, Kendrick, I feel like that's obvious. I even let me see. Cole, Kendrick, Drake is obvious.
Yeah,
you know?
sure.
But you know, like I would say, I don't know if you ever heard of an artist named Shmino. He's pretty dope.
You ever heard of Shmino, Alex?
He's pretty dope. If you haven't, definitely check him out. He's pretty fire.
Is there a song
on iTunes?
Yeah, he's his SMINO. He's pretty dope. He's from St. Louis, Missouri, I think. But he's a really dope artist. He was on Dreamville's Revenge of the Dreamers 3.
I'm about to say, okay.
I mean, he's super dope. He's super dope. JID, you know what I'm saying? There's so many dope artists. I mean, as far as singers, like they're so they're currently my favorite band right now that I would love to do something with. I don't know how it would sound with a rapper though. I'm not just a rapper. I poemize, then I also you know, can hold a tune a little bit too. But one of my favorite bands right now is more alternative and indie. It's called Clr. They're from Texas. I listen to a lot of different music. I listen to rap, R&B. I listen to alternative music. I listen to some rock music here and there. I listen to some gospel music here and there. So
bro, and that's so real because I'm like a person that depends on my mood.
Right.
I don't have what they call nigga ears. You know what I'm saying? I can't just sit and listen to trap all day.
I can't do it, bro. I got love for it in certain settings, but I can't do it. I can't do it all the time. It just make me feel like I'm just
Because
Just give me a headache, bro. I just
nigga,
can't.
I'll go from some shit like, G Herbo to like Lil
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah.
And I'll be singing Disney songs in like 2 minutes, bro.
Facts,
That's
bro.
that's
Them
just
Disney
how
songs, especially the classic joints, bro. Crazy, bro.
I know 'em word for word, bar for bar.
Yeah. You
That's
know
some
what I'm
good
saying?
shit, right? So, are there any specific lessons or expressions that have like shaped your growth as an artist?
Lessons and expressions that have shaped my growth as an artist. I guess just like the importance of perseverance, because like I said, I started out being trash. You know what I'm saying? I started out being trash at making music. I started out being trash at public speaking. I started out being trash at performing. I started being trash at I started out not being able to bring people into a room and then filling up rooms consistently.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a perseverance is what I learned, which is something I feel like I've always had. You know what I'm saying? But that's the biggest lesson. It's just like really, really push through, and I just carry that with me through everything I do in life.
And like when you're performing, do you like ever go back and like watch your performance and things like that,
For sure.
and like kind of critique yourself?
Definitely. Although most of the time I know right away if I killed it or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you just know So it's just and the people gonna let you know. You know what I'm saying? And eventually, once I got to that space where I was more comfortable, I killed it way more often than not. You know what I'm saying? And even the times that I feel like I didn't, it's not like I bombed. It just like the energy wasn't 100% where it needed to be.
I'm still not like the best speaker in the world. I'm definitely
Right.
getting better and doing things, but the reason that most people don't do like public speaking or even doing things like content creation and podcasting is because when you watch yourself back, most people hate the sound of their own voice. First of all,
For sure.
I'm learning to kind of get past that. But like you watch yourself back, you be like, "Oh, why the fuck did I say that? Like, was that weird?" And now go ahead.
Oh yeah, sometimes you got to live with yourself and let yourself be human.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And that's something that I have to understand too. But it's hard though. There would be times where a performance wasn't hitting the way it should have been, and I would just beat myself up like crazy. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you gotta let yourself be human. I mean, not everybody kills it all the time.
Nobody does, bro.
Even some of the biggest artists, every once in a while, they might not bomb, but they might have a performance that might not be the best energy compared to a show 2 days ago, especially when they back to back to back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
and it's crazy because like bringing it back to Cole, if you watch J. Cole's like first performance when he was on The Therapist,
right,
trash. You know what I'm saying? Just like, and I'm not gonna say trash because J. Cole was never trash, but just like trash to what he is now.
Right, for sure.
Because like now J. Cole, he's just like the energy's there.
Perfect.
But he raps his whole stuff. It's not like a sample in the background or like him rapping over a track. He's like actually there, just bomb energy. But to just see that, like, you don't start at the top, man. Right. Everybody has to go through that kind of like phase. It's like, okay, this sucked. And another thing he was saying that, for 2014 Forest Hills Drive tour,
right?
He was talking about I forgot what comedian it was, but one of the comedians, they would basically go to a lot of the smaller comedy clubs first and try out different jokes and kind of see how it hit with the crowd and things like that.
For sure.
And then it kind of just as to the feedback, and they took it to the bigger arenas and the bigger shows. And Cole took that concept and went to like small, like more intimate venues for 2014 Hills Drive. Sure. And like different rap cadences, how he was going to say different words, how the set list, he kind of tinkered with that. And once he got through those small performances, he went out there and killed it for 2014 Forest Hills Drive.
Because it's almost, for me, I feel like when it comes to that, it's probably just an example of taking it back to the roots. You know what I'm saying? Bro, so I think that makes sense.
It's just so powerful, man. Just like even when I'm going back and editing some of these shows, I hate the fact that I made some mistakes when I'm like speaking or something like that, but it causes me to like be more self-aware when I am talking now, to enunciate certain words, to not ramble so much, things like that. It's uncomfortable in the moment, but feedback definitely like it makes you a better person, better speaker, better rapper, wherever the case is. And I think that everybody should probably like, they should record themselves at some point and like see how other people see you talk.
Right.
And a lot of the time too, like you said, it's not as bad as you think that it is. Yeah. Because there's been some times when I was like, you know what, that was fucking terrible. And I go back and watch, I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. And then there were times where I thought that I killed it, and I went back, and I was like, it was all right, But it's just like you said, man, the ebbs and the flows, just life, bro. Yeah, man. So I kind of want to transition a little bit. let's talk about the ladies, man. You got anything going on in your life, man? What's going on, bro?
I got a little something going on,
Okay.
but we'll see where it goes.
Okay, man. That's
We'll see
always
where
a,
it goes,
a beautiful place to be, man. And I think that
Mhm.
especially with you being a young dude, you don't got any kids or anything, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah, man. You a
Mhm.
young dude, you still figuring things out. And
Mhm.
for you to have so much like wisdom at such a young age, bro, it's a blessing because you 28, would you say 20?
No, just turned 30.
30. So
Yeah.
you 30 right now, bro.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see where you're going to be in the next 5 years. It's got me excited, bro, because
Mhm.
like if you've evolved this much in a short amount of time, I can only imagine evolution in the next 5 or 10 years, man. And realize that I got to tell a lot of dudes is that, women are valuable. They have their own value, but you as a man who's like 30 years old, no kids, got a good head on your shoulders,
For sure. You
you're
got
the
a beard.
prize. You're the prize in a relationship, bro. That's not saying the girl can't be valuable because she is,
Mhm.
but bro, realize your own value. So I kind of want to transition to what I call our shattered illusion, man.
Gotcha.
We normally do like a little bit of like dating advice kind of things, and we're kind of going to react to something that I just saw recently. I was driving, with my girl to this restaurant earlier,
Okay.
and I got this notification from Reddit, and I kind of like browsed some of the Reddits and things like that, and it was basically a guy that said, you know what, I hate dating in this
Mhm.
generation, and he posted a screenshot, and I kind of want to bring that screenshot up.
Mhm.
And I want to get both you and Alex's opinion on the exchange and kind of see what you would have done a little bit differently.
Okay.
Now I'm going to give mine. So, Alex, you want to go ahead and bring that up?
Let's do it, man.
All right.
So, window. Yep. Entire screen. No, entire screen. Yep. Click that. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't got my glasses on, but you can read it from the top.
Okay.
So, here we go. It says the title is LOL Dating in this day and age is insufferable. So, I assume they were on a date or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And the guy's in blue and the girl is in the gray. So the first text we see, it says, LOL. Well, I'm about to be on my way, so see you soon. This is the guy talking.
Okay.
And the girl says, me too. The guy responds and says, I'm sitting at the bar to the right when you walk in.
Right.
And notice the times here, bro. Okay. So is that 8:15 or 9:15 of the house? I can't see.
What?
That's 9:04.
No, at the very top.
Oh,
That's
8:15.
8:15.
Okay,
Yeah.
8:15. So they're supposed to meet at 9. So the guy writes at 9:04. I'm sitting at the bar to the right when you walk in. The girl responds at 9:31 and says, "Okay, I had to stop and get gas. I'll be there in 10."
Yeah.
So the guy responds immediately after that. He says, "Don't bother. I just left. It's 9:31. I've been sitting here 31 minutes. This whole time I could have been spending time with my family. You didn't even bother to give me a heads up, not a text, nothing, not even a sorry in the text. I hope you find what you're looking for."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he did what he was supposed to do.
Okay. I kind of want the resident female to go first. And
Yeah.
Alex, what's your initial thoughts reading that text?
So I want to say I'm not mad at him.
Yeah.
Communication is key, and maybe if she would even communicated and just let him know what was going on, he would have had the option to see if he wanted to wait, if he wanted to reschedule. Time is important. You don't get your time back, and I feel like that's her telling him, I don't value your time.
Facts.
So
Okay. That's
yeah.
great. So, Clay, you want to go ahead and take this?
Yeah, man. I feel like that's exactly what it communicates. It communicates she doesn't value his time. It communicates a lack of respect. It communicates that she probably doesn't like him all that much as well. So yeah, I mean, I think he did the right thing. To be honest with you, I would have did the same thing, but I wouldn't even said as much as he said.
Bro, and see, look, Clear, that's exactly where I'm going at right here. So I hate, I'm gonna talk my shit for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an expert at this dating stuff now, bro. And it's kind of like the theme of the conversation is because I've had so many different failures. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I look at this text immediately. The first thing that I see is how long his texts are
Right.
and how short hers are,
Right.
which we know automatically conveys a lack of interest.
Absolutely.
Automatically. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Yep.
So she probably was like maybe between breakups, was bored that night, wanted a free meal, couple of drinks, whatever the case is. And this was her night to be like, you know what? Let me get some attention from a guy that I kind of like. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I look at that first of all. And then second of all, My favorite quote lately is that a man punishes a weak man punishes with his words, a strong man punishes with silence. You know, so I think he did the right thing
Yeah.
by leaving. But what I wouldn't have done is sent that text.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Because like I'm just gonna read your shit and I'm gone.
Right.
You'll never hear from me again.
Yeah.
And another saying that I kind of live by is like when you're a good person, you don't lose people, people lose you.
Yeah. Facts.
You know, because if you're really that guy that could bring some value into this woman's life, women are struggling with dating because most guys are weak and most guys are bitches.
Right.
If I come into your life, I'm going to bring value to it. You flake on me like that, like you said, you weren't interested. You didn't want me in the first place, and now I'm removing my presence from your life.
Facts.
And it's not a strategy or a tactic. It's just like, you know what? You lost out. So go ahead, take care, good luck. But I'm not writing all that shit back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I feel you on that. I probably would have wrote something short back, but it probably just been like, yeah, don't bother. I'm headed home. And that'd have been it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I would have never responded again. But I don't think anybody's wrong for just not responding either. I feel like either way could work.
I mean,
depending on how I'm feeling, I probably could do what you did. So
yeah, and I would have just like turned my read receipts on and not even say anything because people start panicking when they don't see a reaction. That's when when people know that you're upset because like some girls get a rise out of just getting a reaction out of you. You know, especially if they're not into you.
Right.
That's an ego stroke for her.
Facts.
But then now in the back of her mind, she's like, damn, he didn't even care enough to respond to me. Was I even really that serious to him?
Yeah.
Or he probably had a girlfriend. Like, you know, a woman's imagination is your biggest ally in this whole game of life. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, I agree with y'all. She definitely didn't value that man.
No.
Didn't respect his time. And as opposed to him, like, you know, like, I guess he posted it for sympathy. I don't know why he posted this shit.
He posted it?
Yeah, it was on Reddit.
Yeah, that's weird, man. He was on some weirdo stuff right
I guess it was for sympathy, but it's just
so.
like, bro, like
I wouldn't have wanted nobody to even know that. Like I'd have been like, yeah.
But bro, the game is the game, bro. And I mean, and I another thing that we were talking about is like women don't understand how hard it is to actually really get women to kind of sleep with you, because I always tell actors too, it's like a girl could be feeling you in that moment. You know what I'm saying? I've had plenty of girls who were like feeling me. I'm talking about like, you know, you can't fake body language.
Right.
You can't fake like eye contact. You can't fake certain things that a girl does to you, right? And then, you know, the next day I might go text them like 2 or 3 days later, won't respond.
Right.
And it's a combination of a lot of things. You know, I come off very abrasive, as you know. I come off very abrasive, but also it's just like she could have went home and, you know, Tyrone hit her back up, her ex-boyfriend. Could have had a period that night. Could have gotten in a fight with her mother. Could have got fired from a job. And we know women are emotional creatures. So it's just like their emotions rule the day.
For sure.
When a woman says, I love you, she means that in that moment. She says, I hate you. She means that in that moment too. That doesn't mean it's going to apply for the next, you know, 5, 10, 15 minutes, whatever the case is. So that's just how I deal with women, bro.
No, and I definitely feel it, you know. I think it's a matter of, I mean, as a guy, I guess speaking for myself, it's just a matter of like what you're really looking for and what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I do think it's important, really, to be honest with you, not even just for men, for people in general, women and men, to really just understand like how we tick and work. I think it's just important for like, because it'll save you a lot of it'll just save you a lot of foolishness, you know. Like, I mean, when we talk about trial and error, I mean, just like all of us, I've had a lot of, you know, trial and error, even with dating, just like we were talking about the training grounds of shooting your shot at girls and building up that nerve. And then it's also going into just learning about women as you go, you know what I'm saying? This is funny, but I would say about 25, 26 is when the light bulb clicked for me, as far as like starting to really understand how women move. Just at a basic nature level. Now, I do believe that still within that nature, there still are women that are different, but most of them operate in that. So one of the things for me is, I remember at that time, I really, really listened to what women said that they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And I had got my heart broke by this girl, man. I had got my heart broke by this girl, and
Real bad.
it was pretty bad.
Okay.
It was pretty bad. And like in retrospect now, I can 100% see why she lost attraction for me, because I was just so much. I was very like emotional, because you know you hear what girls say, your friends that are girls, and you hear what girls say on
Your
social
mom.
media when they tell you, yeah, when they tell you like you know, they want men to be emotional and stuff like that, you know, and you hear that, and then you know, so I was operating in that, and it's just like I could see exactly like why she
Mhm.
started to lose that attraction.
You know, hindsight is 2020. Everything
Yeah,
becomes clear after the fact. And
facts.
you know, no
No
pun
pun
intended.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But
Mhm.
like, bro, and we were just literally talking about this again, man. It's just like not all, not all, not all. But most women,
Mhm.
bro, they don't really know what it is to find them attractive, because you'll hear them say that they want the emotional man that's going to romance them,
Right.
buy them flowers, listen to them, have some understanding. And I'm not going to say, as I've gotten older, that does have a place in the relationship,
Right.
definitely. But you got to be a little bit toxic sometimes to a girl, man. That's how I've been feeling lately. Go ahead.
Right. So for me, um how I probably would have moved differently. I think the thing that in my opinion, I think it's important to understand that as men, we're still human beings, and we still do have emotions and things that we need to express. But I just think like
Mhm.
we have to do that differently. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going through things as a man, get you a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your close homies, like your super, like your dogs. You know what I'm
Sure,
saying?
sure, sure.
Maybe close family members. You know what I'm saying? To get stuff off. You know, but as far as I'm not saying that you don't share or express anything with the women that you're talking to, particularly one like a girl that you're really serious about. I'm not saying that you don't express anything to her, in my opinion, but I would say that you don't want to, like, women, they can just have a bad day and come and cry about that bad
Sure.
day or one bad moment. You can't operate like that. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Not that that was how I was operating. I wasn't that bad, Lord knows. But but it's just like we can't operate like that. So it's just like, you know, that's the thing. It's almost kind of like you have to express in those outlets that I just mentioned, and maybe with your girl, make sure you have that stoic, because at the end of the day, you got to be the leader. You got to be the one that is the rock. You know what I'm saying? So it almost goes back to primitive times. It's just like in those times where, you know, hunter gatherers and such like that. If you couldn't, you know, provide anything as the man, then you were pretty much useless at that time.
Absolutely,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying? And so if you were scared, you know what I'm saying? Like, what use? If you were scared, you know, if you're or emotional, what use would there be for you? You know,
So
so
this comes back to the
overly emotional.
kind of like the evolution thing, because at one point in time I was like, you know what, you don't show your woman any fucking emotion. You
Right,
just be
right.
like a stone cold killer,
Yeah,
stoic the whole time. And as I've gotten older, I'm like,
yeah,
women actually, and I'm gonna be very careful with my words right now.
right.
Women can respect a degree of vulnerability,
Hmm.
but that's based upon the fact that you've already like she already sees you as that guy.
Right.
You
For
see what
sure.
I'm saying?
I can see that.
And
Yeah.
it's like you can't, of course, be crying about everything,
For sure.
because she's gonna be like, "This nigga's a bitch,"
Yeah, pretty much.
essentially,
Yeah.
But it's just like always have a rule that I don't bring my girl any problem that I don't have a solution for or about to have a solution for.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
You don't want her to worry or think
Right.
that you don't got it under control.
And when you talk to them, it's just like it has to be a thing that was earned. She's
Right.
already seen you as that guy.
Right.
She knows you're going to protect, you're going to provide, you're going to do certain things for her. So she's
For
like, you
sure.
know what? She can respect that vulnerability at that point in time, because now she feels special.
Right.
Because like you're a rock for the rest of the world, but you're kind of a little bit softer with her.
Right.
And that can enhance a
For
relationship.
sure.
But I tell most guys, especially in the beginning, you don't need to tell your girl nothing when it comes to like your insecurities or
Mhm.
like how you're afraid of something like that, because it's doing nothing for you. It's like, you said, get your mentors, your close friends, your family members, your parents, if they're still around, things like that. And also it's important to just tap in with God and even the gym, bro, because, and shout out to my man C Marty, who's also my co-host. We talk about this all the time. It's like, the people don't realize the importance of working out and like getting those endorphins and things released.
For sure.
Because most people who are depressed, I'm not saying depression is not real, because it definitely can be a chemical imbalance in the brain and everything.
Right.
But it's just like, you look at them, they look like shit, they eat like shit, they're not getting any kind of sunlight, they don't move their body at all, they're sitting on Instagram and watching Netflix all day. Of course you're gonna be depressed, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be?
Yeah.
Now, if you have all those things aligned and you're still depressed, then we can have a conversation at that point.
Right. Yeah.
But like most people, they're not really depressed. It's like a lack of direction,
right,
a lack of purpose,
yeah,
and a lack of moving your body. That's what depression for most men actually looks like.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just and that's a big thing for a dude, you know what I'm saying? You always got to have a purpose, things that you're working towards.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's key. But yeah, man, I mean, even going back to what you were saying before, like, I think it's just balance that has to be had. I guess, especially once you get some experience under your belt. Like I said, we still human beings.
Sure.
But we do have to be that rock. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what girls say when they be like, I want an emotional man and all that kind of stuff, their nature gives different. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be that rock. You got to hold it down. You know what I'm saying? Expressed with your close people that you can express with. And you know what I'm saying? And you know, be intentional, I guess, unfortunately, because it's kind of fucked up, but be intentional, I guess, with how you express to your girl. Like, I don't really, if somebody passes or something like that or something, you know, seriously, then that's different. But
and absolutely, and I think Kevin Samuel said that. He said the only time your girl should see you cry is if a close friend or a close relative passes away,
right? And
then you broken all the bones in your legs. Essentially, that's the only time your girl should see you cry,
right?
And it's like, I agree with that, and I think that, cause I'm a Christian, and my model of the perfect man was Jesus Christ, and Jesus was, when he was about to die on the cross, that man was terrified, but he didn't let the disciples see that,
right?
You just gotta handle certain things and internalize that stuff as a mask between you and God, and like, bro, like when you're going through certain things that you're afraid of, because as a man, I get afraid of things sometimes.
For sure.
I'm afraid of not reaching our potential.
Yeah.
I get afraid of, certain things I have to do. Yeah. I'm like, man, I don't want to do this shit. But like, when you come on the other side of that, you can't tell me a man that's been through something and not came on the other side stronger.
And that just gives you a pride when you do that.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying? A level of pride, and just like that you accomplished that you made it through that.
And you hate it while you're going through it, because that shit fucking sucks,
for
bro.
Sure.
And like, even I know it's a fictional character, but like, even like Batman, for as fucked up as his parent, like his like childhood was, as far as like, his parents got murdered in front of him and things like that. And that sucks. It really does. But think of all the good that came out of that, because that happened to him. He saved countless lives.
Right.
He saved the city multiple times. It's all because that fucked up thing happened to him. Yeah. I'm not saying it's good, because it's not good. But it's just like, that's how, unfortunately, how like God tests and strengthens us, because it's through trials and tribulations. And if you're a soft man, you're going to be like, you're not going to be able to be that rock and that protector that God designed you to be.
Right.
And it's the whole saying that hard times create strong men.
Yeah.
Strong men create good times. Mm-hmm. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. It's just that kind of like evolutionary.
No, that's thing, definitely, bro. Like, you made
that's
yeah. I'm about to say
you
said where did you say that was from? But that makes sense.
Is that Jocko Willink, I think? I don't want to say the wrong person, but it definitely wasn't me. But yeah. But yeah, bro, I think it's just so important to be a man. So let's go ahead and pull that second video. It's a real short kind of clip.
Yeah.
Let's share screen.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So, window. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Click it. Share. Okay.
Let's see what we got.
So, no, the other one up top.
That's fine.
Yep. refresh the page if you can. Let it play one more time so you kind of can see it.
Okay, yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Right.
So,
So was she complaining about?
no.
Wait,
One more
So
time, or we good?
now do one more time. I'll
Okay.
kind of explain it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of going to explain what's going on here.
Right.
So this is the girl, and she's reading the text messages, and the men are saying that to her. You know, I'm trying to vie for her attention to get her to respond. She's
Right.
like they're essentially being in the feminine role, you know, because the feminine role is to kind of like receive and get love, you know,
Right.
and you can kind of see the look of disgust on her face. She's like,
Yeah.
like, why are you doing this? Because like, guys, you don't realize how important it is as a man to like, I'll say this. There's a very fine line between chasing and being persistent,
For sure.
you know, and it's a very delicate kind of thing. I think as a masculine man, you have to be the initiator because
Absolutely.
for the most part, there are some exceptions.
Right.
Women, for the most part, they could find you fine as fuck.
Right.
Very rarely will they actually approach you and like make something happen.
Facts.
It's your job as a man to make the date happen,
Mm-hmm.
the initial conversation happen, sex happen, and all that.
Right.
But with that being said, you have to make sure you strike a very delicate balance between that because if a girl wants you, she's going to make it very easy for you.
Right.
You know,
That's
back in the day, I used to be like, you know what? I would text a girl 3 or 4 times, blow a phone if she didn't talk to me.
Yeah, we all been there. We all been there. We all been there.
And ask
bro.
me how that ended up working out.
We know how. We know how.
I mean, we already know, bro.
Yeah.
But now it's like I will be persistent, but you have to show me something in return.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to like send you a text,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, respond to me in a decent time.
Right.
Don't take 3 or 4 days to text me back.
Yeah.
If I'm planning a date, you aren't available on that certain date,
Mm-hmm.
give me an alternative date.
For sure.
You know, and if I'm going to at least take you out, show me some kind of appreciation.
Facts.
I'm not saying like, you know, pay for the date or anything like that, but just make the process of seduction for me very easy.
Nah, really though, and it's a shame that dating has gotten so complicated these days. Like I said, it depends on what you're looking for, but it's just like things that just seem like they or once were common sense too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like I even think of situations like I'm sure you probably talked about this on your podcast before, but that situation with the cheesecake thing and all that kind of stuff. Now, of course, that was a bit exaggerated, but that is still how a lot of women low key kind of operate to a degree. There's probably a lot of women that would kind of feel the same way about that date to Cheesecake Factory. You know what I'm saying?
Shoot, take me.
Yeah. So it's just like I feel like there's just a lack of just appreciation and a part of that, you know what I'm saying, and we can get into this, but it's just like you know, when we, you know, of course when we talk about feminism and everything, I think, you know, it's kind of warped, like, and I get like the start of it and the reason for it at the beginning and why it was necessary at the beginning, but I do personally feel like it's been I feel like it's just completely toxic at this point, and I feel like it's complete poison, and we're seeing that in society. You see that in the marriage rates being lower than ever, relationships being at an all-time low. You know what I'm saying? All of these are results of these changes, which, like I said, in some aspects, definitely things needed to be changed, and there were some problems. But I feel like one thing about our generation and the generation underneath us is that we've just done a massive overcorrection, and now it's not looking good. You know, to say the least, it's looking bad. Very, very bad.
And I think Rollo Tomasi said this. He says, he said that feminism is not about equality anymore. It's about female supreme,
it is about privilege.
And like being supreme.
I can see why he would say that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, even when you think about, you know, the equality aspect of feminism, it is you know, most the reason why, and I got girls that are my friends that I love, but the reason why I can't take most feminists, literally like probably like 97 to 98% feminists serious, is because most of them are not real feminists, in my opinion. They want their cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've only probably met as many as I can count on one hand of feminists that are like straight up like, yeah, we're like 100% equal. So that means that if there's like a war, women should be on the front line, or if there's like you know, if you need a security guard, you should hire a woman or something like that. And why I don't agree with that is just like, I respect the fact that she's consistent all across the board. You see what I'm saying? So like on the flip side, you know, I feel like most women talk about equality, but it's only equality that benefits her. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I want this part of it, but not this part of it. I want to be able to get the top white collar jobs, but I don't want to do the dangerous jobs. You know what I'm saying? That men do to kind of keep society running. You know what I'm saying? I want everything equal, but women still shouldn't go to war. You know what I'm saying? And not that I believe that should happen, but I'm just like, if you a feminist, bro, then be all the way. If it's equality, then it's equality. You know what I'm saying?
And,
so
and,
you can. So
it's funny, bro, because it's equality when it's convenient.
yeah,
And you know, it's just like you hit the nail on the head with that. It's like women, they always say that, hey, we need more female CEOs.
right.
But they never talk about all the other, like, the balance to that. You know, if there's gonna be more women CEOs, there should be more women trash workers, sanitation engineers.
That's all I'm saying.
You know,
That's all I'm saying.
you
Like, you
can't just
gotta
have all the
yeah.
glamour of life
You
and none of
can't.
the pain of it.
You can't, because then you're literally just asking to have your cake and eat it too. Like, if we're talking equal, then yes, women in the top corporate white collar jobs that they say they want, but just like I said, more women trash workers, more women constructors, even it out all the way then.
Yep.
Because if not, then you really are just asking for privilege. It's just the truth of the matter.
And you know, they'll always say things. They'll be like, you know what? There's too many men at the top of this power structure.
Mm-hmm.
And they do what a lot of women always do. They look at the top small percentage of men that are at the top,
Right,
and forget about all the men that are constantly getting shit on at the bottom.
Because they're those guys are invisible to them. They don't exist.
But I mean,
the guys that are working, just, I don't want to take a shit on nobody's job, but the guys that are just working at these regular everyday jobs, they walk past them, don't even notice them. You know what I'm saying? I use myself for an example. Like, early on, you know what I'm saying, as a late teen and early 20s, you know, I would get girls here and there. I had a little bit of sauce, you know what I'm saying?
sure,
I had
sure.
a girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? I got girls here and there, but when I really started seeing the difference is when I became Clr Conscience, and not even right away, but once I started getting nice at what I was doing, once I started killing shows in front of a bunch of people, once I started curating events, hosting events, leading a group, like leading whole communities, and like filling out rooms and stuff like that, that's when I got more girls than ever. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, and it's like the harsh, unfortunate truth, but that's just how it works. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, as a dude, like, and maybe at one time you could be a regular dude and still everything will work out. You could find a girl, but I feel like with the addition of social media and everything, those times are past. You got to be a dude. Either you got to be making a whole lot of money, you got to have some kind of status, at least even in your community, combination of both maybe, or maybe have the genes of a god. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but if you're a regular dude, 9 times out of 10, you know, confidence can still do you good.
Absolutely.
And but 9 times out of, it's gonna be hard for you, bro.
It's Andrew Tate said this. He said it's going to be like society was like the have and the have nots at one point.
Right.
We're going to the have yachts and the have nots. You know what I'm saying? Because you either going to have everything,
for sure,
or you're going to have nothing. In 1985, 1990, you could be a factory worker.
Yeah.
Get a halfway decent wife.
Yep.
$35,000, $40,000
sure.
a year.
You'd be good.
And you were that guy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But now, bro, inflation's hitting hard as shit.
Social media got
Social
every
media is
girl's
crazy.
mind
Ego.
just hyped to,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like this, but even girls that might be like kind of like average looking, like their social media will have their ego just blown up to the 9, to the point where dudes that really are on their level, they would never look at them. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I feel like the addition of social media is really in just like modern feminism, and just a lot of the things that we do today. Like I said, the massive overcorrection, I feel like that's played a huge role in why we having the problems that we having now. And like I said, less people getting married than ever, least relationships ever, families,
divorce rate
high, no families. And it's really going to be bad for the whole country, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I think our generation is also projected to have the least amount of kids by far.
Bro, you can't afford that for kids these days.
Right. So it's just like all these things, even just for the country as a whole, like this is not good, bro. Yeah. This is not good. Like,
and you know what? Like, you don't realize the importance of like just even having a strong family unit until you get older.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody's family has their own shit. I'm not saying that, but like just the people who are from 2-parent households where there's especially a masculine father and a feminine mother,
right?
They're like leagues and miles above everybody else for the most part, because a strong nuclear family is the basis for any
Absolutely.
like strong country. And we see what happens, like every single like single mother household there is, they're almost always higher rates of murderers, rapists, people being incarcerated. They're always coming from that. And it's not because necessarily their mothers don't have their value, because they do.
Right.
But a strong father is definitely the foundation of the country and the household as well, because like a father's love is supposed to represent God's love for us. It's like a disciplinarian love. It's like,
it's
of
the
course
yin
I
and the
love
yang.
you.
You need both.
I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to protect for you. But at the same time, you're not going to be just doing anything you want to do as well.
Bruh. Our community, the Black community specifically, is a perfect example of that. One thing that I learned this year that maybe you might know, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it was so profound to me because I had no idea. But I learned this piece of information, and then I asked around to my old heads for some anecdotal evidence, and they pretty much confirmed. I don't know if you know, but somewhere from between 1890 to it started dropping off in the 1960s, Black Americans were actually the most married group in the country.
Oh, I know that. Yep.
Yep. And so it started dropping off in the 1960s. Unironically, that's when you had things to happen like feminism taking off,
civil rights,
feminism taking off, government assistance programs taking off, mass incarceration, you know what I'm saying, the fall of like Black organizations, like that was the time when the Panthers fell, like the civil rights, all those kind of things. And unironically, it led us to the point that we are now. There was, at that time, I mean, I talk to my pops all the time. I talk to my mentor that's also an older Black man, and like uncles and everything. And they talk about how back when they was younger, it was commonplace that like most Black families had their dads. You know what I'm saying? That's not so much commonplace anymore.
It's nowhere near commonplace.
Yeah. So it's just like clearly things, and it's just like, I feel like me personally, that's such an important thing for Black people to know. And I don't feel, and a lot of Black people don't know that. I just learned it this year.
I knew that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I checked with all my old heads and they all pretty much confirmed it, but it's just like, I feel like that's something that we need to know to kind of understand. Like and unironically, that's when our community was doing far better. We had more community, you could leave doors open and stuff like that. It wasn't nobody going crazy in the community, shooting stuff up. And it's just
they always say that, bro, because like my mom and even my aunts and my father, they were like, they lived like, my mom was from West Virginia and my dad was from South Carolina,
right?
So they were like in pretty much small towns, but like they would literally go to bed with their screen door just open.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't do that shit now, bro.
Shit. And you know, as
Shit.
crazy as DC especially is right now,
Yeah.
you know, with all the carjackings and
Coming from Baltimore,
bro, and these
Yeah.
are like young boys doing this, you know,
Bro.
like 12, 13. I guarantee you there's no father in the house, and there is a father, it's not a good one.
right?
Because like it's just that having that masculine presence, that disciplinarian there,
Yeah,
and also teaching these boys emotional control.
yeah,
Emotional control is so important as a man.
bro. If we still had black fathers in the community, to like, and when I say that, I want to preface that it's not like if we had a period in time where there were, you know, the community, the families were together and the fathers were there. It's not like one day like black dads just decided we're just not going to be there no more. No, things happen. Those things that I had just listed,
Sure.
those things happen. Ultimately, it would be our responsibility to fix it because nobody else is going to fix it for us. You know what I'm saying? So you can complain all you want, but that victim mentality is not going to fix anything. I'm trying to remember where else I was about to go. I think you have something that look like you was about to say.
Yeah. Go ahead and think about that. I kind of want to speak about what you were about to say, bro, because like I would be a fucking fool and asinine and sit here and say that racism and you know us, the fact that we basically weren't able to pass down wealth because of things like slavery and you know the sharecropping and you know indentured servitude. We like. We don't have like family legacies for that most part because of certain things like that.
Right.
And like you said, mass incarceration, the Willie Lynch theory, all those things did play a fact. They did effectively remove the black man from the household.
Right.
With that being said though, bro, it's time for Black America to take some fucking accountability, man.
For sure.
Because now at this point, especially in 2023, we're going to talk about this because social media is here to stay and I fucking hate it. We're going to go into that in a second.
For sure.
But bro, you can learn anything now.
Yeah.
When back
YouTube
in
University,
back in the 1950s, if you didn't know somebody, we didn't have access to like some kind of resource like a library or something like that, you couldn't learn any of this shit. And I don't care if you gay, trans, straight, black, white, orange, purple.
For sure.
Now you can learn. It's no excuse, bro.
No excuse.
Whatsoever.
Yeah.
Because people have no problem going to find out what's going on with Beyonce.
Yeah.
Or Megan Party.
Right.
We talk about that too. They don't, but bro, it's no excuse no more. I don't care what you say. And like it's weird, bro, because like I had to drive into work this week, right? And you kind of see the two sides of DC, right?
Right.
You see the real like just like, damn, this is cool as shit. Like the architecture, like seeing the Washington Monument, the memorials, you're like, damn, this is like, it makes you kind of proud to be an American to see like, you know, people built this stuff. And like, you know, this is like a real cool side to see of DC.
Right.
And it's like just seeing history is always really fascinating me. But then also there's that other side. So one day I was driving and I had to go down Martin Luther King Boulevard. You know what that means? I never seen a nice Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Even in Baltimore, Martin Luther King is bad, bro.
But I'm looking out at this obviously like poor section of like Southeast DC, right?
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like observing certain things. And I'm like, there are people out here. The neighborhood's not the best, first of all. But like, there's just no pride in the neighborhood. People just, you know, throwing trash on the ground. People outside just laying there, you know, obviously strung out on some kind of drug or something like that.
Right.
There are people there with their children, you know, 3 or 4 kids. And of course, like the baby has a dirty face, you know, collar shirt ripped and stuff like that. I'm just like, everybody has a story.
For sure.
And we all have sad things that we've been through. But at what point do you say, you know what? We're all the sum of our choices. And I'm not saying that anybody can be rich or these days, but anybody can be rich. You know, there's so many different opportunities out here. Whether you want to be a truck driver, you go learn some kind of high income skill. I'm not saying it's going to be easy.
Get you a certification,
right?
Something.
And bro, we all have disadvantages in life. You know, we all have things that just certainly aren't fair. Life is not fair to anybody.
Yeah.
Is it fair that some people are born 6'4" and somebody's born 5'4"? Yeah. Fuck no. Is it fair that somebody's born blind and the other person can see perfectly? Fuck no. Is it fair that somebody's born retarded and somebody's born normally function? Fuck no. Is it fair that like somebody like Blue Ivy or Northwest, whatever her name is
born into millions, billions,
and there's somebody who's born into poverty? Is that fair? Right. But Andrew Tate said this too. The chessboard is the chessboard. Yeah. You gotta do what you do, and like basically play the best hand you can be dealt, bro. Anybody can get out of poverty these days. People don't want it bad enough, though, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. It's just it's a matter of work, just like we were saying. I mean, it's just more access than ever here. Like I said, YouTube University, you can pick up skills. You know what I'm saying? There's so many ways that you can do things. So it's just, yeah, man. I don't, but this is on my mind though.
Go ahead.
Even just even getting back to what we were talking about, like with, the Black community then first now, it's just like I said, the only way to if we're gonna fix something like this is just like I said, just some accountability.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I hate to say, sometimes I feel like it looks so bad. Sometimes it just looks kind of bleak for me, if I'm being honest.
Facts, bro.
But but yeah, I think it's just important I think it is important for us to know like where we have come. And sometimes it can be infuriating because just like I said, it had those things that I mentioned not happen. And not even just that, you think of like the Black Wall Streets and the other communities like it, because we just know about Black Wall Street because that was the most prominent, like, but there were other successful Black communities like that in the past, and unfortunately most of them were destroyed and such like that. And sometimes it kind of makes you mad because I'm just like, damn, bro, if those things were allowed to be there and to grow and all those things didn't happen, imagine where our community could probably be right now.
Yeah. I
you know what I'm saying?
But
at the same time, it's just like you said, it is what it is. Things happen. It's the tango of the world. You know what I'm saying? Things aren't fair. Groups take over groups. Humans have been fighting since the beginning of existence.
Facts, bro. Facts. And I mean, like, bro, I'm just not with the complaining and the victim mentality, bro.
Right.
I'm just not with it. And like I said, I'd be asinine and a fool to say that we don't all have external factors that shape our own realities and our own destinies.
Right.
But with that being said, I just can't sit there and not do anything. And I'll kind of even pop it back to this. This is like even building this whole studio, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know shit about any of this.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything, bro. But it's just a lot of research,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of YouTube and YouTube University, like you said.
Yeah.
And I think anybody can figure something out they want it bad enough. And we can talk about, the past external factors because that definitely plays a factor.
Right.
But what is that going to do for trying to get you in a better position
right.
when you're talking about the past? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? So I kind of want to switch gears a little bit too, bro, and kind of go to the social media thing that we were talking about and everything. Do you think that social media is like helping or hurting society right now?
I think unless you're using social media for a business or brand, or perhaps to keep up with people, family, friends that that are in different parts of the world.
Sure.
And even then you got WhatsApp and you got phone numbers. But if it's not for that, then I personally feel like social media is from the devil. So like, I feel like there's nothing good about it. I feel like it's ruined relationships. I think it's ruined just how people see and view each other. I also feel like it's just information overload. So many different ideas and beliefs and thoughts coming at you at one time. It's just like, I don't even think we were meant to be taking in all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and like I said, when it comes to relationships, you might have a different take on this, but I feel like it's killed them in a way that's like we were talking about earlier. Women, they get their heads blown up. You can be an average girl, so let alone let you be one of the baddest. But even if you're an average girl, you might have a little ass on you or something like that. Your head is so blown up if you take a picture the right way, you know what I'm saying, that you believe that you have all these options, not necessarily separating the guys that actually want to just hit or the guys that are serious, and you just turning down all the guys that are really in your league. And then on the flip side, as a dude, you know what I'm saying, you could have a girl and then you can just scroll on your timeline and you might see like 10 girls that look better than your girl, and it's just like everybody's just looking, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like in that way it's kind of killed relationships.
It's the illusion of options, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like, because most people don't have the options they think that they do.
Yeah.
And now we're to the point now where like, you know what? Why am I going to fix it with my wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, fiance, husband? Yeah. When I can go to Instagram and see all these people that I think that I can get, but really aren't an option.
And don't talk about dating apps. That just adds another factor into it. You know what I'm saying?
And bro, I find it fascinating because I'm the same exact way.
Right.
I think that social media is what Kanye said, is modern day cigarettes.
Right.
And what I mean by that is like, remember, social media is still a very new phenomenon.
Mhm.
You know, we're talking about 2012, you know, because we got like MySpace and Bebo and Black Planet and all that BS. But it's just like the modern version of social media. It's like basically 11 years old.
Right.
You know, we're not going to see the drastic effects of this until like 20 or 30 years down the line. And, you know,
Right.
it's funny because, especially probably about the women,
Right.
women, you take a hot 21 or 22-year-old,
Mhm.
she thinks the world is her oyster. She thinks she's never going to get old.
Right.
She thinks she's never going to be replaced by a newer model.
Yeah.
And she just kind of like lives in this moment right now, not thinking about the consequences of down the line.
Yeah.
Because, bro, most women right now, they're not exercising. They're not working out. They're not eating right.
Mhm.
They're partying and doing drugs all day. And I have this thing that I say, the devil always comes to collect.
Mhm.
You can pretend like there's not consequences to your actions, but there definitely is.
Yeah.
Ian Rand said this. She said, you can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequence of ignoring reality.
No. Yeah.
So these girls who are 21, 22 right now, when they start getting older, looks go away,
Mhm.
start getting fatter,
Yeah.
have 3 or 4 kids,
Mhm.
they gonna look back and realize, damn, what did I do in my whole 20s this whole time? I was just basically useless.
And I just wish that we did a better job of like, and that's part of where I feel like feminism had gotten out of hand, because like you're not even telling people the truth anymore.
The real.
So it's just like dudes inherently kind of understand where we are for the most part, because a society makes us face reality.
Facts.
If you are a loser, society will let you know that you are a loser,
Facts.
whether either by straight up telling you or by how people treat you as a guy. You know what I'm saying? But as a girl, especially if you look, you know, good, or, you know, sometimes, like I said, you could even be average looking on social media, but if you look good, you know what I'm saying? It's just like nobody tells you that, you know, you do get older. And, you know, one of the things, men and women are a little bit different in what they are, not even a little bit, but are different in what they look for. So like, I don't think girls understand that. Then, you know, it's something that you really should think about. You're going to hit 35, 40, you know what I'm saying? And then you're not going to be able to possibly get pregnant, or it's going to be harder, and those looks will start fading. And then you get to that age and you wonder why you're not getting the same attention you used to get. And it's honestly kind of sad. I don't like to see that. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I wish that they weren't told the truth so they could, you know, land a solid dude, you know, when they are, I hate to say optimal as if they're an object.
No shit, say
but
that shit, but it's a fact.
right, you know what I'm saying? But when they're, you know, more attractive to dudes. On the flip side, with guys, it's a little bit different. It's unfair, but it's just how nature is. You know, you have more time to get your shit together. Now, if you just bullshit around, you know what I'm saying, you get 30, 40, 35, 40, 50 as a dude, you know what I'm saying, and you just bullshitted your life away, you're just going to be just an old loser. You know, but if you take care of your business, even if you get a little bit of a late start as a dude,
the world's still your oyster.
You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? One thing I always say is that, you know, double standards are what they are. Double standards exist. You can get mad about them, but it is what it is. There are certain double standards that benefit women that don't benefit men. There are certain double standards that benefit men that don't benefit women. It is what it is. Like on one side, as a dude, you know, you could never be as open. We talked about it earlier. You can never be as openly emotional as a woman. You can never have a bad day. I mean, you could, but it wouldn't work out well for you. And then just bitch and moan and cry, or just like cry over a bad moment that happened. You can't be as emotional as women are, despite them saying that they want you to be. As a dude, if you don't stand up and protect yours, you're a bitch. You know what I'm saying? Those are things you don't really got to worry about as a woman so much. You can be as openly emotional as you want. And on the flip side, nobody really expects you to physically fight either. I mean, if you do that, you can do that, but nobody really expects that out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
On the flip side, as a woman, the things that aren't so much fair is just like, you will, if you're a girl and you out here, you know what I'm saying, getting loose, then you're going to be judged for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, that's just the things that aren't fair. And on the flip side, as a dude, women really, they don't inherently care about it, because 9 times out of 10, if you're a dude and you're able to get a lot of girls, you built up, you know what I'm saying?
Bro,
So it's just like you wouldn't even like me if I wasn't able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
Me and Alex talk about this shit all the time, bro. I'll be like, bro, a man can't be a hoe in the traditional sense.
And
And I'm gonna explain to people what a male hoe is. A male hoe is a man that gives away his time frivolously. You know, if I'm around a woman, she uses me for my time. I'm helping her move. She's bitching me about Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray Ray. I'm like moving her stuff around, and I give away my time without getting sex.
Right.
That's a male version of a hoe. Now, as a woman, you're a hoe if you give away your body frivolously to a bunch of dudes. Dudes that won't commit to you, that not locking you down.
Right.
Just fuck those guys.
Right.
You're a hoe at that point. But when women hear the male hoe, they're thinking of, oh, because he's having sex, he's a hoe.
Right. It don't work the same way.
It's
don't.
not.
And I feel like that's one of the things like feminism has lied to women about. It's just like, bro, when y'all doing things like the slut walk, all that does is show us who not the wife. You know what I'm saying? You're just exposing yourself, bro. You know, it's just like I wish this information. But the thing about it is, you can spread this information even in a even in the way that I'm talking about it. It might be more. It's definitely more palatable than how you come at them. But you know, they would still like push back and call me a misogynist, bro. When it's not me being a misogynist at all. It's just being real. It's just like sensible. It's just like, this is how we were created. If you don't like that, either get mad at God or science, whichever one you believe in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is one shit we talking about in particular, bro. She's a little bit older, but body is like phenomenal, bro. Like I'm talking about like top probably 0.1% of what like women her age. She looks great, right?
Right.
But it's the way that she talks to certain men, and about like the way she talks like sexually and kind of like overtly masculine. It's been a lot of dudes that I know that would wife her, but like that puts them off because like, Slim, like, why are you so comfortable talking about, you know, you sucking dick or you being a hoe? Like, because most men, they're gonna be like,
yeah, man.
They'll be like, you know what? I ain't gonna wipe this joint, but I'm gonna say whatever I can to keep hitting this joint.
Yeah, and they're not getting the game. They're not realizing that, like, and that's the thing, and that's the importance of what we were talking about. Going back to the importance of a family unit and a father, because, back then, you know, some women might hate to hear this, but having the father in your home, you know what I'm saying, it was able to kind of, you know, in a family that was together, that's able to kind of give you an example of how to move and show you what to look out for and stuff like that. A dad actually being there to be able to vet a man that's trying to date his daughter, because a man knows a man. So a man can tell you either this dude is just trying to have sex with my daughter or this dude is actually serious.
Yeah.
Because you a man and you know what to look for because you've probably done it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the importance of that. And a lot of girls these days would be like, I don't need nobody to help vet or do this. You know, so just like, yeah, you do.
Yes, the fuck.
Yeah, you do. Unless you want a bunch of dudes to just be able to lie and hid, and you know, you want to go through a bunch of trauma. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like we just need to be more open and honest. But also on the flip side, you know, women need to be more receptive. On the flip side, like I said, most men, we already know these things because society forces us to be more accountable in that way. Because like I said, if we're losers, we're gonna feel it.
And you know, it's just like, because reality is just a lot harsher than men. You know, you can't be 5'5" and play in the NBA,
right?
But you can be a fat model and walk the Victoria's Secret runway,
right?
You see what I'm saying? Like,
it's just we're just not being honest on the other side. We're not being honest. It's just like, so then there'll be girls, you know, that'll be
it's partly men's fault too, because for the most part, I do the shit, but most men are not going to correct the bad behavior. They're just going to say, you know what? I'm going to agree with this woman. I'm going to tell her what she wants to hear so I can keep fucking her or have the possibility to fuck her.
Yep.
But if more guys are saying like, no, I'm not tolerating that. No, I don't like hoes.
Right.
I don't like girls who are fat.
Yeah.
Then there wouldn't be so much like kind of commotion and going back and forth now. But guys be lying to women. That's partly men's fault.
Yeah.
Keep it a buck. And even back to the social media thing, bro, like, part of the reason that I called this platform Shattered Illusionz, not only because I want to get the real behind my guest,
right,
but also it's because of just like social media, man. It's just like there were people that I knew were just like cap on social media. Like, for one example, there'd be somebody that you know maybe was married. You know, they have the best vacation pictures, you know, up on of their marriage, and it'll be this long caption talking about like, oh my God, my wife, my husband's the best thing that ever happened to me, and we're in this for life, baby. I love you so much. You talk to someone in the back and they be like, man, I can't stand this motherfucker. This nigga done cheated on me 1,000 times. My wife stepping out with my coworker. I'm like,
Right.
we all know social media is bullshit.
Yeah, it's like it's a highlight reel, as they say.
But we still are enamored and can't really escape this trap of like trying to like portray the perfect life. Or like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, it's a drug. I mean, I've seen documentaries and stuff like that where they literally talk. I mean, it's the machine behind these things is really evil. Like, where they talk about, like, I've seen documentaries and, read things where they talk about in the creation of certain social media platforms where they're literally studying how people tick to get them addicted to these things. Because they understand how people work, how their brains work, how things tick. And so they put these things in place when creating these platforms to cater to that dopamine rush and how our brains work, so that the average person will be a slave to it. So like that's when you get into the deeper layers, but it gets into that. Like these people creating these platforms, they know what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? And they know how to keep people in this hamster wheel because they know exactly how our brains work and how they tick. And most people are going to be stuck in that hamster wheel. I can't even tell you the kind of, obviously life is life, things haven't been perfect, but just like the peace I've had from not being on social media for this hiatus that I've been on. So, and as I said, when I was going through the things I was going through, had I been on social media too, bro.
But bro, and it's like, I want to address 2 points. Like, first of all, the people, like the developers behind all these sophisticated algorithms and things like that,
right?
They don't let their kids use social media for the most part because they know the detriments behind it.
Right.
And bro, like these kids, I don't know what's under us. What's the generation Z?
Z. Because I think
is it like Z? What's under Z? Do you know, Alex?
Millennial Z. I don't know what's under Z. Yeah.
I think it's Z.
No,
but under Z.
What's under Z?
Oh, hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, but basically these kids now, parents, because let's keep it a buck, bro. Most of these people who are having kids aren't really truly ready to be parents. It's probably an instance of like, lust got into the way, they had a one night stand, somebody really didn't vet to properly be a partner, and they're having these kids, and then they have to go into work, and they've been stressed all day from work. They have to come home and deal with the kid, and as opposed to dealing with the kid, they just shove an iPad in their face. It just keeps them quiet. So now the parent can get a little bit of peace and quiet, but that kid, he's not having any time, or she's not having any time to develop like that thing of actually like being bored to think about some things, like to grab a phone and play with it like it's a fucking airplane or something like that.
Going outside.
And kids now are just freaking like doomed because like I know people who are like teachers, and they're saying like how kids can't really even focus, read, and write anymore because they're on social media and the iPad all day. It's like they're like little mini crackheads, bro. Like seriously. But also the everything in life has a positive and negative,
for sure.
And with social media, the reason I'm back on it now is because, of course, the business and things like that.
As we mentioned, right?
But also as a man, bro, we know it's bullshit. But as a man, if you have a good Instagram, we were talking about how that you want to cast as wide as net as possible. If you have a good Instagram, that's going to get you more women than probably having no Instagram, or especially if you have a shitty one.
Right.
Because women, they're social creatures. They need external validation to figure out why they like you. But if you have a popping Instagram, you have a good lifestyle on there, they'll be like, okay, you know what? I'll go out with this dude. No, he can't be too
That's
weird.
Exactly how it works. I mean, for the most part, just understanding and learning about how women tick.
Alex.
Yeah.
Camera.
Yeah. And understanding how women tick, a lot of times it's just about, a lot of times how a lot of other women see you. And if, like you said, if you're able to get other women, it's almost just like, okay, so what's up with him? What he got going on? It even project dropped up to now, and even a few things I'm touching on from before that point. But for the most part, it's talking about those experiences, the change that I've had, the new person I've become, and the things that have led me to that point. So, yeah,
I like that.
It's great, man. So before we end, bro, I gotta do what I gotta do and put you on the hot seat.
What was that?
You gotta answer these questions as fast as possible.
Oh man.
No,
let me get a sip of water.
no
man. Oh man.
Oh, let me just throw in while y'all do that. So it's Alpha. It's the generation after Gen Z.
Ain't shit alpha about these motherfuckers being raised right now. So they gotta change that name.
And I didn't want to stop you, but y'all were on a roll. But the kids, they don't know their ABCs, but they going in the classroom singing "Sexy Red." It's crazy.
I'm looking for the whole.
It's bad out here. It's bad.
All right, man. Let's get this hot seat. Okay, Clr.
Okay, I'm ready.
Is Baltimore your city?
It is
a part of the DMV?
No, it's absolutely not.
Okay, who's the best rapper of all time?
Hot take, Kendrick Lamar.
Oh shit. Okay, all right. I pretty much know the answer to this one. I'm gonna ask you anyway. Is Instagram helping or harming society?
Harming.
True or false? Men should lead the relationship.
True.
Best rap album of all time?
Man, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't pick one.
You gotta pick one, bro.
Oh,
throw one out there.
Just throw one.
Shoot.
We know this is not Clr's definitive number one. He has to say something right now.
All right. I'm gonna say, and this is probably gonna be a hot take, but my favorite one since it dropped, and this is not a lot of people's favorite of this artist, but Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. That was a very, very powerful. That's a very powerful album for me personally, because what I was telling you about what I was going through at that time, like I feel like that was a time where Kendrick was almost kind of like he had a lot of change, and it was acceptance in that, and that's why for me personally, I don't want to say that's the best of all time. Maybe sure. I shouldn't say it's the best of all time.
What's your opinion? I'm just saying
it's not the best of all time, but it's a favorite, and maybe that's not my favorite, but one of my favorites, and that's not even answering the question. So I really should think of something else.
But I want to say this real quick. Like I didn't even like the album like that, and to be fair, we live in this generation now where people just want to go through the album just to get a quick hot take about something.
Right.
You really got to hear an album 4 or 5 times before you can really give a definitive record like rating on it. Because I'm gonna tell you one. Like when Yeezus by Kanye first dropped, I freaking hated that album. But then I went back, like, I don't know, maybe a year or two. I'm like, bro,
it's fire.
This joint is fire.
It is fire. It's
like
up there.
Fire,
it's up there
bro.
with some of his best for sure.
I'm telling you, bro. And it was so like revolutionary and different at that point in time. But if you would have asked me when that shit first dropped, I'd be like, that shit was ass.
Right.
But and there are some that on the first listen, it's just fucking amazing. Like Graduation, my favorite Kanye
Graduation,
album.
Even what is it? Dark Twisted Fantasy, first listen.
Bro, when Graduation first dropped, I listened to that joint like every day before high school, like literally every day. I was getting more, and that was my soundtrack for like getting them ready. And like I didn't even buy albums at that point. It was like a lot of like LimeWire and stealing shit. Right. But I went and bought the album. That joint was fire. To this day, still fire actually.
Yeah.
But okay, so should men ever be friends with women they find attractive?
Should they? I mean, all I can say is I don't know how possible that is, to be honest.
Okay.
I don't. I mean, but you said it's rapid fire, so I can't explain. So go ahead. I could explain, but I can't. So go ahead.
Okay, so Drake or Cole?
Cole, because he's just. I think Drake has a better discography, but Cole is my favorite. So
yeah. There's a bear shit in the woods.
Yeah. Got to.
And last question. Did you have fun?
I did, bro. It was love for sure.
Man, this was amazing, bro. Last thoughts, where the people can find you, all that stuff.
So you can find me just on all streaming sites. Really, right now I have mainly singles before this project drops, but all streaming sites. But then you can also check out the Strictly for My Niggas project and on Bandcamp and SoundCloud. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Clr Conscience. That's ClrConscience. Clr Conscience.
Alex, last thoughts on the show.
Y'all did great. This is one of my favorite ones. I really like this one.
Actually, bro, it's like one of my favorites too. And like, you know what? It's like I want to kind of end on this because we were talking about the power of momentum and things like that.
Right.
This is actually like my first time where I've actually had an interview without a co-host. And I was
Word.
pretty much. I like the ability to have a coach, take a little bit of pressure off of me.
For sure.
But I'm learning now that, you know what, I gotta get shit done, and whether who's with me or behind me, it's all about what I have doing, like going forward for myself.
That's big.
So I'm just throwing myself in the fire now, and kind of understanding how how it's going to work, and
Right.
that I can't wait for everybody to make my dreams happen.
Mm-hmm.
And like I couldn't have picked I think a more perfect one-on-one for the first time I'm doing this shit, bro.
Mhm.
This was this was love, bro. Real talk. We gotta do it again.
Look, we got to do it again. With the girls too.
Oh, absolutely. Naja, she'll be better. She'll definitely be back, bro. But we'll
sure.
coordinate, get your schedule together, send your ass back to Baltimore. Yeah, you've been here to say two and do all you. You heard it right.
Yeah, no, I heard it. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, okay, I didn't think he's from Baltimore, but then I heard that too.
Yeah,
it comes out sometimes.
Yeah, and it's so funny because he's so articulate and things.
Very articulate.
He still has that Baltimore little twang in his voice.
It's part of him.
Hey man, but ladies, follow us on Shattered Illusionz, send us a DM. Come down here and get some of this smoke, man. We're gonna have my man Clr back. This is great, man. Seriously, appreciate you, man. You welcome back anytime, man, for real.
Love, I appreciate it.
But that's all our time till the next time. This is the Shattered Illusionz Podcast. Kill the fantasy, build the dream. We are out of here. Love y'all, boys. Will I take him to the great?